Hello again. Welcome to math on May 7th. May 7th. We're almost there. 2 more weeks of work. This is great. And today with geometry, we're going to be doing a little different kind of a shape. So here we go. Get ready. We've done points, angles, lines, triangles, quadrilaterals. We're gonna do a shape with a different kind of sides today. Um, Not 3 sides, not 4 sides. How many sides do you think? If you're looking ahead in the book, you already know. But let's talk about this for a second. How many sides does a circle have? It's right there. It's that circle right there. How many sides does a circle have? Well, it has two, an inside and an outside. Are you laughing? No. Let's move on. We'll just go ahead and get there. Here's what you're going to be learning today. Around a circle. Around the outside of a circle. It's called the circumference. That's what you're going to be looking at today, and then matching that understanding with equations. Let's get me out of the way here, and let me show you what they're talking about. They've got these circles of different sizes, and they've got this activity that you can go through. Feel free to push pause if you'd like now and go through that activity, if you'd like. And here's what the activity is trying to teach you. The activity is trying to teach you that when you have a circle, and the center, the diameter of a circle, if you take that diameter, that's not part of the diameter, it just goes from endpoint to endpoint through the center of the circle. That diameter, if you take that length and wrap that length around the circle, so if I take it, I'm going to wrap it around here, maybe we'll go to about right there, and then wrap around right there, and then wrap around again right there. It will go 3 times in a little bit, 3 plus a little bit. And that's the message of today. Let's say the circle's this big. Well, then this distance, the diameter, it goes around once, twice, 3 times with a little bit. It's always 3 and a little more, whether the circle is that small or that big or something in between. The diameter is known. We just know that it always will wrap around the circle 3 times and a little bit. And that's what this activity would show you if you went ahead and went through what it tells you. And what is that? What is that relationship? What is that whole concept telling you? You can make some notes if you want. It's telling you pi. We use the Greek letter pi to signify it, and some of you already know what pi is. Pi is 3 and a little bit. It's 3.14159265358979323, and it goes on. It goes on forever. It's an irrational number because it's not rational for something to just go on forever, but it does. People have done the calculations on all the triangles. They learned this hundreds, thousands of years ago, but the concept is that this is how much it will go around the circle. And it, again, goes on forever. If you do the division, it works out to go on. It's irrational. Well, we have a hard time writing irrational numbers, so you'll see sometimes pi written as 3.14. That's a lot easier to say. And once you get to the 10/100,000th place, this 0.1, that really doesn't, it's not very meaningful of a distance. So we can just leave it off. We just go 3.14 you'll often see for pi. You'll also often see for pi, you often see it written as 22/7. Why is that so? Because 22/7 is 3 and 1/7. You can type 1/7 in your calculator and see that it's really small. 3.1. You can see that these numbers are rational, so they're a way to write pi that's not irrational. Because irrational pi is hard to write. It's harder to remember. How many digits of pi have you got memorized? Some of the good things to memorize in math is a multiplication table through 12s, maybe through 15s. Memorize pi to a certain number of digits. Memorize the Greek alphabet, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, all the way through to omega. That's something you'll see in college level math courses. But something to memorize for pi is that pi is 3.14. 3.14 or 22/7. Okay, so what does that mean? What have I just shown you with a circle with a diameter and pi? I've shown you the equation you'll be working with today, and this is what you need to know. If you want to know the circumference around a circle, the distance around a circle, all you have to do is take that diameter, right? And what did we just say? We multiply it how many times? How many times does that diameter go around? Well, it goes around pi times, however you want to use the multiplication. So the circumference of a circle just equals pi times the diameter. Now we all know that a diameter is just the radius. Here we go. It's the radius. It's like 2 radii. There we go. If that's the radius and that's the radius, the diameter is the same thing as 2 radiuses. The radius is half the diameter. So sometimes you'll see it written like this. The circumference is pi times 2 radiuses, because the diameter is just 2 radiuses. But the way that they'll write it is 2 pi r. But it means the exact same thing. 2 radiuses is the same thing as the diameter. So these are the 2 ways that you'll see the circumference of a circle written in a relationship with its diameter or radius. There you go. That is the learning for today. Circumference of a circle equals pi times the diameter. Circumference of a circle is 2 radiuses, or 2 times pi times the radius. And, write it down, hit pause, get that written down, because that is what you need to know for today. Once you've got that, you're set. You can work on the work that they give you. They've got the definitions here if you need to look back and review it. They've got some problems worked out here. Right here, they're using 3.14. If I did the try it down here, what's the circumference of it? Well, the circumference equals pi times the diameter, or the circumference equals 2 radiuses times pi. Well, here's the radius. So first of all, multiply the radius by something to get the diameter times 2. So times 2, the radius by 2 to get the diameter of 18 inches. Then you multiply it by 3.14, which is close. And the circumference is whatever 3.14 times 18 is. You can put that in your calculator. I won't take the time to do it on this video. See if I can get this video done in 10 minutes. Here they've used 22/7 for pi. And again, as long as you use a calculator, you'll get it right every time. Right here, they've used 3.14 for pi. And then you can work through them. Work through these problems. Let's do number 8. Find the circumference of the circle. Well, the circumference equals pi times the diameter. And there's the diameter. So the circumference is, use 3.14. 3.14 is pi times, and the diameter is 20. So the circumference is, when you type that in your calculator, 62.8 is what your calculator will give you. On number 9, find the circumference of the circle. Use pi as part of the answer. What do they mean by that? Well, the circumference is pi times the diameter. And here it's the radius. So the circumference equals 2 of the radiuses times pi, or radius times 2 pi. Well, let's see. So if I put 12 in for the radius, the circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. So the circumference is, let's see, 2 times 12. That's 24 pi. They want pi as part of the answer. They don't even want you to work out the math. They just want you to leave it like that. So I mentioned that you can use 3.14 for pi. You can use 22/7 for pi. You can even just use the symbol for pi and just leave the answer like that. You'll see that a lot in some of the higher level math courses in high school. Just leave it as pi. Number 10, find the circumference of the circle, 3.14 for pi. So the circumference is, let's see, pi times the diameter, and there's the radius. So however you want to write it. Circumference is pi times the diameter, which is 19. Or the circumference is 2 times 9.5 times pi. And that's the same thing as 2 times 9.5 times 3.14. And when you multiply those in your calculator, you'll get the same thing there. You can check your answer key that you got it right. Now, take a look at number 11. You can do this, quote unquote, backwards if you want, using this concept. Find the diameter if you know the circumference is 27. Well, the circumference is pi times the diameter. So the circumference is 27. So circumference is 27. I'm just rewriting the equation. Use 3.14 for pi. So 3.14 times the diameter that we don't know. So write diameter there. How do you solve that equation? Do you guys remember solving equations like that months and months and months ago? How do you get d all by itself? I'll go ahead and give you the exact answer once we get this, because to get d by itself, you divide both sides by 3.14. And d becomes, that's just 1. Any number divided by itself, it's 1. And so we're lazy. We don't write the 1. So one of the diameters is whatever 27 divided by 3.14 is. Whatever 27 divided by 3.14 is. 8.5. Now, oh, round to the nearest tenth. Nearest tenth, that's 5, it's going to be 6. So 8.6. So you can work equations backwards even to find whatever variable is missing. You just put in the numbers that work for the variables and you're set. You'll notice the pi button's right here. If I would have said 27 divided by pi, just enter the symbol pi, enter. Oh, look, I get almost the exact same number. 3.14, except I did 3.14, and then the number that I stopped doing at, that's where it's going to show up to be different. But you can see it's close enough, and when we round it off, we get the same number anyway. All right. The distance around the meteor crater, so the circumference is this. Find the diameter. Again, same thing. The circumference, 9687. The circumference is pi, and they want us to use 22/7 times the diameter. So then solve that for d. And again, there's multiple ways you can do that, but it's 9687, and then you get rid of the 22/7. Some of you like to multiply both sides by 7 and then divide by 22. Some of you like to maybe just divide by 22/7, divide by 22/7. Some of you like to divide by the 22 and then times by the 7. Whichever way you do that, you'll get the answer of, and I'll do it the way where we, there we go. Let's see how much fun this is going to be. 9687, and then it's divided by the fraction 22/7. Look at that complex fraction. The distance across, so the diameter is 3082.2. And then you can ask yourself, does that make sense? This diameter, 3,000 across. If you times that by about 3, do you get about that? Yes, you do. So you know you did it right. Spend the rest of the time doing the rest of these, making sure you understand this backwards way of finding a diameter, 11 and 12. And check your answers with the answer key. Have a wonderful day. And remember the two sides of a circle. Ask someone around you, how many sides does a circle have? See what they say. And then tell them 2, an inside and an outside. You're the best. Have a great day, guys and gals.